Bruce. Aunty B is here, so if you could just do her introduction, and I think she will get up to talk.
Yeah, okay. So it is my privilege to introduce Aunty B. I suspect she is called, and I'm particularly privileged to meet you for the first time, Aunty. And I know that you hold a very distinguished position at Charles Darwin University as the Bilawara member in residence, if I've got that correct. And
no, actually, I'm the academic in residence.
Oh, yes. Okay. The academic in residence. So, yes, look, I know you're going to tell us a story now about the lands in Darwin and the spiritual connection of the people. And welcome, thrice welcome.
Well, I'm going to welcome you to country first, and then I'm going to do my little talk, if you don't mind. So, Darandira and Gurukwa Bachua. Nayana Naling Bilawara Namuli Galmerijan Nari, Nayana, Damagiri, Yana to Galmerijan. So good morning, everyone. My name is Aunty Bilawara. I am a senior elder of the Larrakia Nation. And I'm really happy for all of you that are under 60 to call me Aunty B. I am very happy to welcome you to Galmerijan, Larrakia country. Thank you for the respect you show us, the traditional custodians of the land we gather on today. And I am a member of the very large local Kabilo family, one of the 8 family groups that make up the Larrakia Nation. I give a special welcome to other elders that are here today, and especially to my brothers and sisters from other First Nations, a very warm welcome from my heart. Australian Aboriginal nations are the oldest continuous civilization on earth, and we follow in footsteps millennia old, and our cultures and customs have nurtured and continue to nurture the land we live on today. I pay my respects and honour the presence of these ancestors whose ancient spiritual energy flows through all creation. When you ask a traditional custodian to do this ancient ritual, you show respect to the First Nation peoples of the land and their ancestors. And to me, it's about acknowledging the past and looking to the future. Spiritually, I'm honouring the presence of my ancestors whose ancient spiritual energy flows through all creation. And the Larrakia people are the traditional custodians of the land and waters of the Greater Darwin region. And although our lands extend up to 50 kilometres inland, we are known as saltwater people. Northern Australia is economically, ecologically, socially and culturally different from the rest of Australia, which is home to the world's oldest living cultures, with Aboriginal people continuing to live on or near their ancestral lands. This region is also home to immense biological and cultural diversity that has become recognised as unique in world standards. This uniqueness requires protection, respect, and to be managed sustainably into the future. And this relates directly to the importance of the ongoing role we all play in the well-being and evolution of the Darwin region. We are a vibrant Aboriginal nation, numbering around 2,800 people. We live locally and have been recognised for our strengths in performance, music, literature, the arts, natural resource management, and many Larrakia have achieved mainstream success as doctors, lawyers, academics, business owners, sportsmen and women, rangers, and hold senior positions in governments and other organisations. It is commonly said that the top end has 2 seasons, the wet and the dry. But in fact, the Larrakia have 7 seasons. Our calendar is circular, not linear. There is no beginning and no end, but a constant flow. Each season is associated with distinctive patterns of weather, but also changes in flora, fauna, and human activities. We have a deep respect for the natural world. We understand complex connections within the environment and the links between plants, animals, water, and climate. We have moved from into the season of Damibila, where the skies are clearing and the clouds are high. We can feel cooler temperatures in the morning, and our elders say that the flowers in Bidjipidji or Birapa, the dragonflies, are calling in the cold season. This is the best time to fish for barramundi. They're really fat and yummy right now. and to go out collecting bush fruits. The other seasons are Mayalima, the knock 'em down speargrass time, Djingama, the heavy dew time, Garawa Guligiwa, the big wind times, Duralagang, the build-up time, and BallRoomA, the rainy season. So it is on that note, it is my privilege on behalf of my eldest past and present to welcome you all to Gwawa Daranyinki, our land. Welcome to my saltwater home of great food, friendly people, beautiful beaches, spectacular sunsets, and the most amazing lightning storms. Larrakia country is like a pearl with many layers of different peoples of different cultures, all living and loving in this deeply spiritual place. And from the moment you arrived in Darwin, or you were born here, you have been immersed in Larrakia ancestral energy. And as you walk across my land, I ask the ancestors to make your journey in my country a safe and rewarding one, and that they protect you while you are here. All that I ask in return is that you walk softly on Mother Earth and treat her with love and respect as the Larrakia people do. And if you are walking softly and you are listening closely, you will hear the deep, rich, ancient voices of my ancestors singing the songlines across this beautiful land I call home. Throughout the coming year, may you and your loved ones stay safe and well during these really difficult times. Samamak Bachua, thank you. I was a little surprised to be asked to come and do a keynote speak. I'm like, okay. One thing is that I am a director. I have been for quite some years now on the Territory Natural Resource Management Committee, and I have learned a lot from environmental scientists and all those people who are passionate about the lands and the waters and everything else that's here on our planet. So I'm going to do a presentation around Aboriginal spiritual connection to the land. So again, Darandiraman and Gurukawa Bachua. I just thought I'd share with you a bit of pictures from my family, give you something to look at while I'm droning in your ear. Good morning, everyone. As I said, my name is Aunty Bilawara. I am a senior of the Larrakia Nation, and I'm acknowledged nationally and internationally as a healer and teacher of the ancient wisdoms of Aboriginal spirituality and healing. And I've published 2 books, Star Dreaming and Healing from the Dilly Bag. Before I begin, I acknowledge all the traditional custodians of all the ancestral lands of Mother Earth. We follow in footsteps millennia old, and our cultures and customs have nurtured and continue to nurture the land since men and women awoke from the great dream. I pay my respects and honour the presence of these ancestors who reside in the very imagination of this land and whose irrepressible spirituality flows through all creation. I pay my respect to elders past and present and acknowledge their deep feelings of attachment and relationship they have to their country. As I said before, Australian Aboriginal peoples are the oldest continuous surviving civilization on Earth. And Australia is the only continent to have been occupied exclusively by hunter-gatherers until recent times. This history is not completely lost. It is retained in the minds and memories of successive generations of Aboriginal people, passed on through a rich oral tradition of song, story, poetry, and legend. Aboriginal people believe that all life, human, animal, plant, insect, fish, and mineral are all part of one vast, unchanging network of relationships, which can be traced to the great spirit ancestors of the dream time. Aboriginal cultures are complex and diverse, and many of the reasons Aboriginal cultures have survived for so long is our ability to adapt to change quickly. It is this affinity with our surroundings that goes a long way to explaining how we have survived for so many thousands of years. And I believe that Aboriginality is not the colour of your skin, but it is the essence of your heart. And in our societies, we only held enough land that was enough to feed our communities. We didn't go and take land for the sake of owning vast acreage of land. And of course, in the desert area where it's not as prolific as the coastal areas, you can see they had bigger boundaries to their countries. My identity is not based on who I am, my gender, race, social class, achievements and possessions, but where I am in relation to my country, family and community. The dream time and dreaming is not the same thing. The dreaming is the environment we live in, and it still exists today all around us. Did you know that none of the hundreds of Aboriginal languages contains a word for time, just as there are no words to describe the act of possessions or owning something? We teach of the knowledge deposited in the earth by the ancestral spirits. From the beginning of time, every event, every creative process that happened on Mother Earth effectively left behind a seed. This seed is seen as a memory that infused the earth after the event, just as a flower leaves behind a cloned copy of itself in the form of a discarded seed. All things formed during the dream time carried with them a vibrational memory that holds the memory that is birthed that place. So the dream time was before time, and the dreaming is now, then and now. Just as everything of nature carries the memory of the events that helped bring about its creation, so they carry the blueprint of the ancestral spirits whose action helped shape the land. The memory stored within the land is what we refer to as the dreaming, representing the primordial sacredness of the earth. All life found on Mother Earth is intertwined in relationships, and all life can be traced back to the ancestral spirits of the Australian dream time. The dream time was the time before time, when the world was new and the ancestral spirits travelled across the earth, helping to create the land in all its forms, the plants and animals. While dream time describes the time when the world was new, and the term dreaming describes the continuation of the dream time in today's world, and remembering that sacred time as it still exists within the spiritual lives of Aboriginal Australians right through to today. We tell our grandchildren Dreamtime stories so we can pass on the information of how the ancestral spirits created the animals, insects, fish, birds, and how they created the many landforms, such as the mountains, deserts, seas, lakes, rivers, and valleys. These stories help to teach them about our origins of people and our individuals, family and community totems, which form the foundation for life for us. Knowing and understanding this, we know we don't own the land. How can we own something so immensely important? And this has been a very big dilemma for many, because we don't own the land, but to deal with Western society who place so much emphasis on owning. So who owns this land? And of course we go, no, we don't own the land. So therefore, by not claiming ownership, we lost a lot. So that has been a very hard lesson to learn over the last couple of 100 years. You know, knowing and understanding this, we know we don't own the land. How can you own something so immensely important? It would be like saying you owned your mother, in the Western understanding that you could alter, sell, buy and or destroy your mother. We believe the land owns us. We are responsible for her. The land is my mother is the land. Land is the starting point to where it all began. To me, it's like picking up a piece of dirt and saying, this is where I started and this is where I'll go. The land is our food, our culture, our spirit and identity. In non-Aboriginal society, a person's home is a structure made of bricks or timber, but to our people, our home was the land we lived on, where we did our hunting and gathering, our rituals and ceremonies, grew up our families, and it is our connection to the ancestors and their spirits. So this is, in my language, better good way of homes. And this is ours. I know which I prefer. The land is our home, our supermarket, our pharmacy, our school and libraries, our entertainment centre, our church or spiritual centre. It is where we lived, loved, raised our families and died. There is no such place as wilderness in Australia, although you hear it all the time on the radio, the wilderness here, wilderness there. You know, wilderness in the dictionary means uninhabited land, empty and barren. But I need to tell you that what you call wilderness, we call home. Aboriginal people will change themselves and their lifestyles to suit their environment, whereas non-Aboriginal people will change their environment to suit their way of life, even if it means destroying everything natural. It's a bit heartbreaking for me to see when that happens. Oh, that's my mum and all her kids, and we still do, even though they made Darwin the capital territory of the Northern Territory, we still maintain our cultural activities and laws. Aboriginal law and life originates in and is governed by land. The next connection to land gives Aboriginal people our identity and a sense of belonging. Our spiritual and cultural connection to the land obliges us to look after cultural sites, which are the living museums of our ancestors. We believe that everything has a spirit, that life is a continual spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical journey, which is constantly changing. Our lives are all about our spirit's journey, and our journey is inseparable from Mother Earth with all of her life forms and energies. We must live with unconditional love and compassion, honouring everything tangible and intangible, as everything has a spirit. It is important that we be able to perform our rituals and ceremonies on our lands, as ceremonies are an essential ingredient in life. This is the foundation for a strong spiritual journey. It is a universal human need that heals and celebrates the union of our spirit and soul's consciousness with Mother Earth's creation. Ceremonies create a greater ease through life changes. It smooths our life's paths and supports and guides the expansions of our own personal and spiritual growth. Ceremonies create a strong, sacred inner link that assists us to move more easily through the unexpected, unknown waves and tsunamis and great life mysteries of both our outer and inner environments. With ceremony, balance and harmony, we are restored in our lives, and that enables us to smoothly walk the spiritual paths to enlightenment. Ceremonial activities help us renew or rebuild our spiritual connection to the land and the sacred sites for which we are responsible for. Everything in our daily lives is a ritual or ceremony, whereas in the non-Aboriginal world, ceremony is often celebrated by going to church or other religious institution, and it is not always a 24/7-day-a-week way of life. Our disconnection from our ancestral lands and ability to care for Mother Earth and not being able to perform our sacred ceremonies on traditional country has caused us a lot of pain, suffering and trauma. As a spiritual healer, I believe it results in sickness and despair. I know there is always a spiritual or metaphysical reason for the physical manifestation of illness, disease, injury, mental health disorder, and addictions to drug and alcohol. Today, access to traditional lands can only be gained when native title is recognised, but gaining this title is a lengthy, costly and complex process. I travel to many different places, interstate and overseas, doing workshops for people from many different cultures, and I'm always saddened by how many people tell me that they don't have any connection to their ancestral cultures, rituals, ceremonies and teaching. And I believe this is why so many people have health problems in their lives, that because of all the issues and the intergenerational trauma is why in the Aboriginal community, we have chronic diseases that are just devastating our people. Many non-Aboriginal people have problems understanding our close relationship with land. When we try to explain about what the land means to us, we are often attacked with cruel phrases such as, the land doesn't belong to you Aboriginal people, it belongs to all of us. This is very wounding to us and often makes us angry and bitter. It doesn't help that some politicians will use scare campaigns about Aboriginal taking people's backyards when native title and land rights is an issue. This is irresponsible of our leaders and just reinforces the fear and misunderstanding between us. Mother Earth is an essential part of our library. It holds not only material evidence of our ancestral lifestyles, influenced by ice age, isolation, climate change, and eventually colonisation, but also a spiritual connection to country and the identity of place and spiritual belonging. This destruction of sites and nature is like ripping pages from our library book. It's like cutting the heart of our people, cutting our identity and our cultural philosophy that sustains our spiritual connectiveness to country. I don't know what you all do in your daily lives. I understand that you have an empathy and you are passionate about the ecology of our planet, and thank you for that. But really, Aboriginal people should be one of the major stakeholders in park management and the caring of this beautiful, powerful, strong land called Australia, because our lives and spirituality are related to this land. For me, culture, nature, and land are all profoundly linked. So please walk with me in caring for Mother Earth with our mind, soul, and spirits. And for me, may your heart and spirit be inspired by your time embraced by ancestral energy. And I hope you will let the wisdom and the spiritual essence of generosity, love, and compassion influence your activities over the coming years. And may you all live together in peace and harmony. Darabinugalinya, Old Man Rock, sits in the Casuarina coastline. He's one of our major ancestral spirits that has decided to stay here on Mother Earth. And he's at Casuarina, and from him all the way around to the Darwin Convention Centre is the Durula songline, the Rainbow Serpent songline. So today you sit in the energy of the Rainbow Serpent. And I, even though I'm up here sharing with you some wisdom, I'm singing that songline. So thank you. And I really thank you for inviting me to share with you today.